Hello, everybody. Okay, don't mind my hair. I haven't gotten to that step yet in my day. We're about to start our conference calls, but I just read the most recent episode of Jinx. Oh my God! Okay. Spoilers ahead, everybody. All right. So, it's kicked off at the restaurant. The doctor who assaulted and harassed Kim Dan is in the restaurant with Kim Dan and Jake Young. Kim Dan finally notices this old man staring at him, and he obviously has a reaction of like, oh no. Okay, boom, he goes to the bathroom. All that's left is Jake Young and the doctor. The doctor approaches Jake Young, is now saying all of these disgusting, crazy things about Kim Dan, saying, oh my God, like, I wish I could have fucked him. I wish I would have had him first. How much did you have to pay him to do that? He was such a cocktail. Like, literally, you are the predator. You are the person who is wrong. You are the assaulter in the situation. And still, you are blaming this person that you victimized. And then doing it to someone who you assume is his boyfriend. He's like, are you his boyfriend? I think what he might have even tried to be implying was that, like, he's just like a escort or something. No, bitch. No. So, you know, Jake Young's like, ooh. Kim Dan's like, no. It's like, don't do it. You got a match coming up. I wish you would have just let him. Because here's the thing. I feel like Jake Young would have absolutely dog walked the shit out of that doctor. Killed him even. I don't care. Anyway, they get back to the house and now it all comes out. And this is what I was really, I hate that this had to happen because that means that like it happened to Kim Dan, right? But I've been waiting for this since things started to get a little bit better. And when I say that, I'm not even talking about recently. I'm talking about when the gift was happening, right? All the way back in like episode something. I don't remember the numbers. Right before Kim Dan just disappears and goes off to the seaside. I'm really happy that this happened because they needed to have that moment. And this is further going to bring Jake Young. Like now it's full circle for him, right? Okay. So now that Jake Young knows what happened to Kim Dan, it's then bringing him back to all these things he said in the past. To Kim Dan, totally misreading the situation, assuming that he was slutty and all this other stuff. You know, he put in his head, and it, you know, granted, it's because it's what he's used to. You know, Jake Young is paying people for sex. That's how this relationship, situationship, whatever, came to be, right? I don't like the way that he spoke to Kim Dan, even if Kim Dan was somebody who was a sex worker. It's like, you don't need to be disrespectful. You don't need to be disrespectful here. But that is now like the final nail in the coffin, I think, for Jake Young. Like he'd already been there figuring out and realizing like he was wrong for the way he treated Kim Dan, the things that he's done, the things that he said, everything. But now it really clicks into place like, oh, I really fucked up. I was really wrong here. And it sucks that it had to happen, but I'm glad it did. It needed to happen because Jake Young has to really see everything there is to see about Kim Dan, just like Kim Dan had to see everything he needed to see about Jake Young. Like, I think you could kind of, I mean, even before we got the background on Jake Young, I pretty much figured out like what the dynamic was going to be for him. The figure hovering over him was probably going to be like a dad, his dad, whatever, trying to chase, trying to run away from this overwhelming feeling, these, you know, anxieties, these things that he's put himself through, the life he's lived. Like, you understood that's, I feel like anybody on the outside, even if you knew a little bit about Jake Young, you could pick that up, right? Same thing happened when he was younger. Kim Dan, though, Kim Dan is so, like, reserved. He's so sweet. He's so kind. Like, he just wants to be there for his grandma. And it's so sad because, like, I think for Kim Dan, he feels like I can grit my teeth and I can bear it and I can get through any of this because at the end of the day, I'm going to be there for my grandma and I'll have my grandma. That's the person I care about and love the most. So, it just makes me so sad. I will say, okay, so on the 2nd, we will not be getting an update. We will be on the 3rd. So Minghua basically said, we're not getting a update. We're going to have a hiatus. But at the end of the episode, she told us that the next thing will be a hiatus. So I really love that. You know, Minghua, I love you. I love you. You've given us the slow burn that I needed, desired. I'm telling you right now, if this gets a fucking physical release, as it should, I don't care. Someone's going to have to help me, okay? Because I'm going to have to pre-order everything. I'm going to get it in 2 different languages. I'm getting it in Korean. I'm getting it in English. I want special edition covers. I want everything I can get my hands on when it comes to Jinx, when it becomes physical, because I love Jinx. And if anybody knows anybody who is doing like fan art or whatever, and they like sell prints, tell me, put in the comments, email me, get on Instagram and DM me, girl. I don't care. I need it. I need it right now. / I'm going to try to learn how to draw. I can make my own shit. But anyway, it was such a sad update. Such a sad update, but also good, because I feel like here we go. I'm sad that, Kim Dan had to relive that, and then he had to see him face to face, like, it's one thing if you can tell someone about what happened to you, and maybe you never run into that person again who hurt you, or the thing that hurt you, whatever. But when you, girl, I didn't realize how close I was. Sorry, I had to move that. It's going to bother me. But when you're actually confronted with the person who did something so awful to you, it is so hard. You know what I mean? It can be very, very, very traumatizing. So I'm so glad. I feel like if this would have come out earlier, I still think Jake Young would have done the right thing and, try to be as kind to Kim Dan as possible. But now Jake Young is in the stage where he's actually trying to be very, very, very mindful of how he speaks, what he says, how he says it. And he's not trying to put Kim Dan in a situation where he's hurting. So I don't know, girl. I just feel so bad. But this is really like the big, big, big start. Like, we are seeing things blossom and bloom. Oh, we also found out what Jake Young said on the Ferris wheel. Obviously, I assume they're going to be together in the end. Okay, a BJ Alex of it all. But we still got to have that final fight. We still got to, and I want him to beat his ass. I really do. I don't want Kim Dan to be put in a situation, but I think it's very clear that that's probably what's going to happen. And I really, really hope that many people's predictions are true, mine included, that Kim Dan, obviously he's been hanging out with these fighters. He's been sparring with Jake Young, and he's, done some stuff with Potato. I think that he is going to actually be able to protect himself in a situation if he is taken, which I assume is going to happen. Like, at the end of the day, the loan sharks, they've been paid, but it doesn't change the fact that they were beaten up by someone who knows Kim Dan. Doesn't matter if they got paid, they still got their asses beat. The guy from Jake Young's past is determined. It's sad. It's sad, girl. What's wrong with you, sir? Just accept it. You're a fighter over here. You're a dirty fighter. You're a dirty fighter. So maybe that, that's probably why. Like, you have no, like, morals or convictions or whatever. You're just, like, a scumbag. So that's why you can't just, like, take the fact that, like, yeah, Jake Young technically is a better fighter than you. You had to resort to cheating to beat him, because you would have gotten your ass kicked if you hadn't cheated. That's why you're going to get your ass kicked this time around. I believe. So yeah, everything's going to be fine. I think I'm going to be sad, but everything's going to be fine. So we're getting close, y'all. We're getting close to the end. I think that, see, here's the thing. That reminded me of the thing in BJ Alex where, dude, I can never remember his name. I always get his name wrong, but I have the cover, so why am I acting like I can't show you what I'm talking about? Oh, DG, right? That's what we called him. I can never remember. Okay, sorry. Going down memory lane. So, what's this? Is it KD? No. I'm thinking Kim Dan. Is it DG? Is it DG? Fuck, man, I can't remember his name. Yeah, okay, Nam Dong-gyeon. That's right. Look at them when they're in color. They're so cute. Anyway, so, okay, so we find out a little bit about what happens in both of their pasts. We don't go too deep, I feel. We just get a little hint. That's why I really love the fact that Jinx is such like an even more of a slow burn, because we got a real in-depth background on Jake Young and on Kim Dan. Yes, we've had basically the entire series for Kim Dan. I'm fine with that, girl. I love Kim Dan. But we got even more because with his background, you know, we saw he is in a family that is fairly rich. They have certain expectations. They treat him like shit. He can never measure up. He basically is estranged from his family, and this is what he's done to like make money and blah, blah, blah. But then we get a little bit of background on KD about him being bullied for being gay in high school, maybe middle school and high school, I don't know, or junior high or something. But we don't delve deep into it. So I'm really glad that we delved deep into both of their stories. But I think we're going to move past the doctor thing very quickly. I think they're going to have a moment together, Kim Dan and Jake Young in the house, right? Where Jake Young either just consoles Kim Dan and that's enough in that moment, or he really genuinely sits there and apologizes like, I'm so sorry for everything I've put you through. Which I do want him to do that. He's going to do it. That's not gonna not happen. But anyway, we only like dipped our toe in certain things in BJ Alex and in Jinx. We're going like super duper duper deep. So we're getting to a close because it pretty much wrapped up very quickly after everything that happened with DG explaining what the situation was. But yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there. The fight is the final thing. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. Yeah, I think they're gonna keep the property that's back at the seaside in the end. They'll vacation there or something. I don't know if they'll stay in the place where they are now, but now that Kim Dan isn't trying to kill himself every time, I think they could probably stay. We'll see. But I'm so excited. So that was my only little reason to update y'all. I finished the new episode of Jinx. I think it was really good. I'm loving where the story is going. I can't wait to get on Twitter and like see what everybody's things are. I'm going to avoid all of the negative talk because my thing is like, we're all not going to like the same thing. That doesn't matter to me. I actually really enjoy seeing why some people don't like certain things. It can definitely offer a different perspective that like, maybe because I love this so much, I wasn't able to see it from that point of view. So I like stuff like that. I think that that's good. But some of the discourse or some of the things that people don't like about Jinx, it's confusing to me because it doesn't really make sense. But at the end of the day, you don't even have to have a reason for not liking Jinx if you don't like it. If you don't like it, it's fine. I don't really care. I just don't like when people like, oh shit, you're making up. You're making some shit up. Like when we were on the like month-long hiatus and people, when it came back and people were like, I don't know, girl. I don't know. It's like, I just like the fact that this is a slow burn. I think some people either, they just don't like slow burn and that's fine, or a slow burn to them. I think it's harder because it's episode to episode. It's like chapter to chapter. You're waiting. You're not even waiting every week. You're waiting like a few weeks in between. So I think if you started Jinx and you always wanted to continue with, but you kind of DNF'd it, wait till it's done and then like binge it. Because I think that's how some people could really like it. That's what I'm probably going to have to do with Tears on a Weathered Flower. I am thinking about restarting that. But reading it week to week was hard. So now I have like several weeks of episodes in between the last time I spoke about this. I think like 2 months worth. So we'll see. We'll see. But all in all, Jinx was good. Yeah, we have to wait a little while for the next episodes, but it's okay. We're almost there. We're almost done. I'll put the episode list we're at because I don't know how much further past 100, but I always remember seeing people saying that Minghua said 100 episodes for Jinx. So we're so close to being done. If there's side stories, I'd love that because I would like either a role reversal or an Omega verse. Give it to me. Anyway, I gotta start getting ready for my conference calls because my work day starts in like 30 minutes. So I'll see you guys a little bit later. We'll talk, we'll have read, all that good stuff. Welcome back, everybody. Snowpocalypse is here. Although we didn't really get snow. we got snow. I think we got like an inch, maybe an inch. But now it's the mix of like sleet, you know, rain, whatever. Jen and I are doing pretty good. We're very warm. Like, I got a lot of tips from TikTok, especially from people in Texas. I do think that our infrastructure is a bit better than Texas, but like at the end of the day, anything can happen. And I'm definitely going to take advice from the people who lived through a very crazy snow and ice storm not that long ago. I mean, within the last 5 years, dude. Crazy. So doorways are, you know, sectioned off with big sheets and things tucked in certain places. I made a really great meal last night. I have our warm room, which is the bedroom. It gets like the hottest in the house, which is really nice. But yeah, I think I did a really good job prepping. So my biggest like concerns obviously are power outage, ice doing something harmful. You know what I mean? That is what truly scares me the most. It does look like hopefully it's going to, like, the sun will come out hopefully tomorrow. That might help. It might not make it, you know, it might not make the ice melt immediately because it's still gonna be cold, but we'll see. So I'm hoping for the sun to burst through and, you know, do her beautiful job. But yeah, so it's Sunday. I took a PTO day because I don't want to go work. What I have to eat, because I do want to show people, because I like this meal. I know not a lot of people like tinned fish, but we have jalapenos and sardines and like an olive oil. Bitch, this is so good. Okay, but that's not it. I'm not just eating it like that. I would though. Garlic and herb goat cheese. Delicioso. But that's not it either. These are like garlic parmesan pretzels. I've never done this combo with this. I usually just eat like a garlic herb Ritz cracker. I can't wait to try this because, dude, I was like hyper fixated on this for like a month. I only ate these things. They're so good. They're so salty. I love salt. This combination I know is gonna be delicious. But that's not the point here. We've got most of the day to read, and that's what I really want to do because the last few days I've been so focused on getting the house ready, doing the laundry, you know, stuff that I did not ask I did not ask any help with, because if I didn't do it myself, it was just gonna, like, I don't know, it's just gonna nag at me because, like, I know I can do it right. Yeah, I went so far as to make a fucking yurt outside for the cat. And she did hang out in it. When I woke up this morning, she was in there. I did like a nice little thing. But she doesn't stay here like that. I think she goes to someone's house, but she comes in here because I feed her. I was gonna let her in the house last night, but I was like, you know, she's an outdoor cat. I don't really want the responsibility. We haven't had a dog in 2 years. It'll be 2 years soon. And I like the half responsibility I have with Kat, who's outside, because it's like she's lived on the streets probably her whole life, which is just sad. She doesn't deserve it. She's a real good cat. She probably was somebody's cat at some point because she's so nice. But all that to say, I was working so hard to make this fucking shelter for her. And it came together really well. So yeah, there's been a lot of stuff. There's been a lot of stuff going on. So anyway, the stuff I want to read today. I need to finish Gran Familia Volume 1. I started this 2 days ago and it's really good. I think I could see myself continuing on with this series. I want to read Volumes 1 and 2 of The Anenome Feels the Heat. Yeah. I really, well, I need to. This isn't even like a want. This is I have to get much further in my book club book. I made it to chapter 14. I don't even know where my sister is, but I have like less than a week now to finish this, and it's over 40 chapters. We'll see. I'm gonna see how far I can get, and if worse comes to worse, I will see if it's on Hoopla and listen to it as an audiobook. We'll see about Deadline. I might pick that up. I have a ton of stuff on NetGalley I have to read, which I do want to do. I do want to read that. And then, I don't know, I'm just in the mood to read My Noisy Roommate, The Roof Over My Head Comes with Monsters and a Hottie. So I have the 2 volumes here, but I have volume 3 here, and then volume 4 I just bought, and it's in my office. I uploaded my first haul of 2026 video, so that's out. She's looking good. But yeah, I gotta figure out what I want to, I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna eat first, pick a show, and then we're gonna get comfy. But yeah, this room feels pretty good. I have a gigantic sheet separating me from the kitchen because it's like not really an open concept house, but kind of. So this room is a little bit better. It's a little bit warmer than it typically is, which is making me think, oh, we're gonna get doors. We're gonna get French doors here or something, because girl, it's crazy. But yeah, we're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna eat my delicious combo. I know this is gonna be so good. And then we're just gonna chill. We're just gonna chill. I'm gonna take an edible. Why not? A little crazy. But I will see you guys a little bit later. Hopefully I will have read and we'll have stuff to talk about. I'm gonna work really hard to do that. All right, we're back. It is like 8 o'clock at night. It's been a decent day. I have freaked out on and off a bit. But I took an edible and I'm calm now. So that's what I really needed, clearly. Devin watched The Cell with me. That was the first time he ever saw it. He declined to watch Spice World first. And, you know, I wonder if he regrets that, because I love The Cell. Well, actually, no, I don't think he regrets it, because I sang every single song in Spice World because I love the Spice Girls. I know most of the lines also. So I was reciting that. So maybe it wasn't a bad thing that he chose The Cell instead. But that was a nice rewatch of that movie. I haven't seen it in years, probably the year it came out, which I don't even know what year that was. And still, I'm not like a film buff person, you know, but I feel like I can appreciate like amazing cinematography and shit. And like, yeah, that movie is fucking crazy. Really, really liked it. Watched Spice World. I turned on Getaway. I think that's what this movie is. It's just something I have in the background all the time. But I have read a little bit. So I finally finished Gran Familia. I definitely think that I want to continue the series. I'm really interested in the Gran Familia of it all. Basically, there's a world where humans and demis live side by side in society, except demis are basically monsters that clash with humans and humans clash with them. There's all this like fighting that goes on, so neither group trusts the other, but demis are obviously far more powerful than humans. So oftentimes they are causing chaos in communities, and they don't care what human or if a human gets hurt, usually, because they don't really fuck with them. But there is these at least 3 people that we see, this being, what was his name? I can't remember. Leo. He's a vampire, who actually don't have any issues with humans, want to coexist with them side by side, but are hiding their true identity until they don't. And I really like Leo because he's a really interesting character. He's funny, he's quirky, he's a fucking vampire. When he actually turns into a vampire, he looks completely, he's not as goofy as you first see him, which is kind of nice. You know, I like a goofy character. Let's see, okay. So, he's a vampire who's anemic. But anyway, you're just seeing him living in this community, interacting with humans, trying to be under the radar, but there are demi mafia groups coming into the city and like terrorizing and hurting people that he and the other 2 that were in his familia know.
The family that he comes from is infamous, but 5 years ago, it almost is like they disappeared after this huge event that happened that basically kind of made it even worse, the relations between demis and humans, right? So we're seeing some flashbacks of what's kind of going on here with the dynamic. I'm really, that's another reason, actually the biggest reason why I'm so interested in continuing on with the series, because it's like, okay, there were far more than 3 people in the Gran Familia, and there seems to have been a charismatic leader, but what happened to him? What happened to everybody else? Why are they separated from the rest of the group? Why was this explosion and this chaos? Why did it happen? And did it happen and the result was like the splitting of the family? So I'd be really interested to see that. I think it's got good action. I like the main characters that we meet. I enjoy the side characters as well. And the way it ended kind of on a cliffhanger, I'm really interested to get into this more. Then I read, I'm really proud of myself, volumes 1 and 2 of The Anenome Feels the Heat. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to mean, but it's fine. Basically, you've got a high school romance. It's a GL. The only thing I don't like is I don't like the one person is sick trope. I don't enjoy that, and I do tend to see that a lot in GLs, especially when they are like kind of high schoolers. I don't really get that. I don't understand why. Just even, but I do not hate those stories. Obviously, I loved The Summer You Were There. But the sick friend, the sick lover, the sick, person trope, I don't know. So we'll see about this. But I do think that it's cute. The only thing I'm not a fan of is the teacher-student dynamic that happens. I don't know that that's necessary, but who am I? Well, you got your 2 main female characters. They have a past, but only one of them, at this point that we know of, remembers how they actually first met. And because of the incident that, actually, let me see if it says it on the back. I'll just read the back. After screwing up the entrance exam for the high school she wanted, studious Nagisa has resolved to keep her chin up and move on. That is until she meets a sickly girl named Mishiro at her new school, the very same girl who threw a wrench into her plans on exam day. Every time Nagisa looks her in the eye, she remembers her failure. Even so, she vows to warm up to Mishiro rather than hate her, and when Mishiro is inspired to change her own outlook on life, it may just bring them closer than Nagisa ever expected. And also in there, the one where it's like, oh, the person who is sick and disabled, well, they have to be cheered on and, motivated by the able-bodied person, because the able-bodied person, like, they're really going to show you why you have to fight to live and be happy. All right. I'm not in this situation, but it's very cliche. If you've read it once, you've read it before, but it's not like that's uncommon for anything else that I've read. Okay. If you've read one Omega verse, you might read a different one, and there's some debt involved. You know what I mean? So they switch it up every now and then. But yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes, but the whole dynamic with the nurse and the student, I don't like that. I don't know that that's necessary, but I guess we'll see what happens. Basically, obviously, Mishiro is the frail one, weak one. These are words she uses. She's fainting. She's out of breath. Hopefully, it's not some more extreme, ailment, because that usually also happens. It's like, oh, it's not just simply like I faint sometimes. It's, oh, like by the end of this I'm gonna die. I don't want that. I don't want to see anybody experience that, please. So I hope this doesn't end that way, but I fear that it might. Moving on. Anyway, Mishiro, obviously she has to be helped to the nurse's office. A lot of the time the nurse isn't even in the office, but randomly Nagisa, she is helping her there, and then they see a fucking teacher with a goddamn student damn near straddling her. She's got to cover her mouth before they kiss each other, and it's like, okay, now is the student a senior? Yes. Could she possibly be 18? Maybe. She hasn't graduated yet, and you're still a student. That's a no-go. I'm sorry. If I were a teacher, I'm not going to be with you probably at any point, because I will only see you, this is me, as the student that I met. I'm sorry. I can't view you. I mean, you may be an adult, but no. So, okay, the student is the one trying to pursue the nurse, but then at the end of the second volume, that's when you see, like, okay, now the student's doing a little bit too much, and then the teacher, has a moment of inner monologue, and she's like, can you just graduate already? You're considering this? You're considering being with this teenager, because even when she graduates, she will be a teenager still, and you are probably in your 30s. No. Don't do that. So I don't know. Now that I'm talking it out, I don't know that I actually want to continue this. Like, in the midst of reading volume 1, I actually had a moment of being like, do I want to just finish these and not continue on with the series? I don't know. I'm not really sure what I want to do, but I'm on the fence. So this might get added to the DNF pile, which is disappointing because, like, but we'll see. I don't know. If I can find the next volume used or discounted in some way, maybe I'll continue. But I don't know. I think I might be over it. I'm sorry, but we'll see. I also got a decent amount of reading done with Dead and Gondola. I didn't make it super far, but yeah, I read 3 chapters, I think. Jesus Christ. I'm not making very good time. I'm probably gonna have to listen to this as an audiobook because I don't know. I'm enjoying it, but it is slow. It is not how this is like a standard size, right? Side. Yeah, I mean it's basically 300 pages. That's typical for like a cozy mystery, but I don't know about this one. I'm liking it, but I'm not loving it, and I think that's the problem of my slow progress with it, because it's okay. I still really like the main character, the dynamic with the sisters and stuff, but I don't know. And this damn thing is fucking falling as I'm talking, so I need to reapply the painter's tape. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to keep reading. It's still early on, but I feel myself getting sleepy, so I might be going to sleep early. I didn't go to sleep until almost 4 o'clock last night. I'm not really sure why. And then I only slept for 3.5, maybe 4 hours. So I've been awake since 7. I might be going to sleep soon. We'll see. But I do still want to power through. I also started something on Webtoon, but I think I want to get a little bit more episodes in, and then I'll talk about it. That's a good idea. I also need to... Girl, it fell. Lauren, that's sad. Well, I gotta put that back up. I also need to revisit the series I bought on Tabbytoon, and I need to get back into Winterwolf. I started that. I never finished it. I am intrigued by it. Because obviously the dude is like a hybrid. I'm interested in that. But yeah, that's 3 straight stories, by the way. To the person who judged me in public for reading BL. God forbid. Anyway, I'm going to get back to reading. I will talk to you guys in a second. What the fuck is this? Okay. Because I bought the 6th volume, I decided, I should start Yarichin Bitch Club. I've never read this. I've never listened to anybody explain what this is about. I just knew that this was a BL. Okay. So I'm going in so blind. I didn't read why do I keep saying subscription? I didn't read the synopsis. I rarely do. I just know that this is like one of those, one of those that's in people's collections and people like it, I guess, What? I don't even want to open it. He's getting explained the rules and expectations of the bitch club. What? Why am I at a loss for words? Okay, yeah, we're opening up with a transfer student. He's now in an all-boys school. He's asked by one of the other students, hey, aren't you going to join a club? You got to join a club. He wants to join the most, like, easygoing, laid back, like, nothing kind of club. Because he doesn't really want to. Doesn't have much to choose from. There's, like, 4 fucking clubs. And the one he goes with is the photography club. When he gets there, and the club president opens up the fucking door, there's just, like, all these guys standing around one of the other club, all the club members standing around another one with something on his wiener. And then we find out that the photography club is actually the bitch club, where these members of this club have sex with the other boys in the school. Essentially, kind of, I mean, he is like, is this a brothel? And he's like, well, we don't take money. We just like to have sex. Okay. All right. Alrighty. All right. I don't know what else to say other than okay. Then we're adding teachers. Okay, so teachers are having sex with students. Alrighty. But then the last part is, if you don't have sex while being in this club, you will be by multiple people. What's going on here? What's happening? What do you mean? And, and before I got to that part, I was like, oh, I could see how this could be very funny. Like, I understand why people say this is, like, amusing. Then you get to what the fuck are you talking about? Okay. I've already gotten several forms of whiplash, okay, in like 5 pages. What the fuck is going on with this? I am truly at a loss. I don't know. Okay, but we're diving back in because I'm committed now, after being shocked awake, basically. And I will be getting back to you. Also, today is Tuesday. We managed to clear our cars off. Well, actually, I should say, snow wasn't that bad. Unfortunately, it was the freezing rain that came after that created a layer of ice on top of the snow. So luckily for us, with our cars, it was easy to kind of like pop the snow off, because once you like popped the ice, it's then just easier like to actually physically pick it up in chunks. So that was fine. Devin and I managed to get out of the house with his car, so he should be fine going to work tomorrow. Mine, not so much. I'm stuck in ice, which is so crazy. So yeah, so the piling up behind the tires for me, I don't have the same kind of car as Devin. I might be able to get out, but I'm probably just going to be working from home tomorrow and trying to like work extra hours later in the week. I don't know what to do. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. I also got a new drink from Brulala today. So freaking delicious. I will be getting that again. Oh my God, I can't even describe it. It was so good. Delicioso. And then Devin took me to the bookstore, and I got to see all the people that work there that I really like and I like to chat with, and it was just really nice. I really like them there. What else did we do? I've watched movies. I've actually been able to kind of. I've been able to pay attention to multiple movies during all of this, so I am very proud of myself. Yeah. Trying everything to keep this house warm. Got the space heater. I got the freaking heated blanket underneath me. Found a better solution for covering the hole in the chimney. Still have the sheet on the door. Have other drop. So this is like a drop cloth. from when I was painting the house. So put a drop cloth on another doorway because that one is not insulated. Like that room in the house is not. So yeah, we've managed, we got really lucky here. We did not lose power. I don't think many people lost power like within the Tri-Cities area that we live in. No frozen pipes, thankfully, and we're gonna keep dripping them fuckers. Keep it dripping. But the roads, dude, they did like a shit job here, and at least that we have heard of in Richmond and stuff, which is really sad and shocking. It's okay, but they did a shitty job. I don't know. I don't know, but I hope they're continuing to work on it because like the roads are still shitty. But yeah, we got pretty lucky. Everything's gone good so far, knock on wood. Devin's family's safe. My family's safe. I'm stuffed full of fucking spicy ramen. It's just been a nice day. I really wish I didn't have to go to work tomorrow. Imagine if we could all just have the week off. Oh, would be lovely. I would love a week off without having to use my own PTO. I just get paid for it. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna stop talking. Get back to reading because I just simply must. What's going on here? So I will see you guys in a second. Okay. A little close to the halfway mark. I will say the main character of this, he is so funny. I really like his character so far. Basically, I've made it to the part where it's basically the next day is the deadline. And he hasn't slept with anyone in a month. And he's going to... So here's the big thing, right? So it's Kashima... What's his fucking name again? I don't remember his name. And I think this is Tono. Basically... Oh, okay. Spoilers. So if you've not read it... Yeah, I'll say spoilers are over. So Kashima is his cousin, okay? He, our main character... is kind of developing a crush on him. Yachan, is that his name? And he figures out that Yachan has a crush on his cousin, Kashima. Now, I don't know how these people are cousins, girl. Are they first cousins? Are they... Is a second cousin something by marriage? I don't remember. Here's my thing. If it's a marriage cousin... I'm not saying that I agree. I'm just saying I'm less grossed out because it's by marriage. If it's related by blood, now come on. Come on. You're in an all-boys school. There's nobody else. There's nobody else you can have a crush on other than your fucking cousin. Who am I? Someone who's never had a crush on their cousin. Whatever. I guess some people, you know what? I do believe that, that there's a truth. I think people do, but who am I? Anyway, it's really clear that Kashima has a crush on Tono. Is it Tono? I could be wrong. He has a crush on him. Our MC. It's obvious to me at least. So one of the other guys in the bitch club is the one who's like, you know what tomorrow is, right? And he's like, well, why don't you just sleep with Kashima? He's like, why? I bet every single person in the club is like, oh yeah, Kashima likes him for sure. But then bitch, he finds out that they study together. First of all, he doesn't even have better grades than him. There's two, he's fifth in the class. You're getting mad and jealous. So, he acts kind of funny for a second. And he's like, oh shit, But, for him, he doesn't have a crush on Kashima that he's fully aware of. It's very obvious that he's crushing on him. And that, besides the fact that they're in the same club, I'm sure that they'll have more in common and be better suited to each other than these two. So we will see. I'm basically at that part where we're going to see, is he going to plead to Yachan to sleep with him? What could be? I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping Hail Mary here. Something happens, because I certainly don't want the alternative to happen. But what the hell? So we'll see. I will report back in a second. Okay, I am officially done with volume 1. I have 6 volumes, so I will be continuing reading this. I literally just bought the 6th volume. I'm really actually very intrigued to find out about this love triangle now. That's what has me hooked. All of the fucking wacky, stupid ass hijinks going on. The stalker story, what the fuck? Not as interesting as the love triangle. I could definitely say that. The love triangle between these 3, because it's like, again, spoilers here. When Tono, okay, wait, yeah. So Kashima ends up saving Tono, and they really save each other because he didn't have sex for the month either. So he says, no, we're actually dating and we don't want to sleep with anybody else. So they get out of what was supposed to happen to them for not having sex and are now fake dating. I do love a fake dating trope. This one, we're going to see how it develops. We're going to see how it goes, because it's not quite where it needs to be, you know what I mean? But Tono is obviously thinking of this solely as like, oh, you know, Kashima's just so nice. He did me this favor, you know, we're friends. Yeah, I kind of like him, and yeah, I think he's cute, but like, you know, whatever. He still, I think, kind of likes Yachan, but at the same time, he's like, he feels very sure that he likes Kashima. Well, he decides that he can't, like, pretend, and he confronts Yachan and is like, hey, are you in love with Kashima? And he's like, no, but like his reaction, it's really hard to read, right? Because he's like, we're both guys. What do you mean? Well, he never says we're cousins. Okay. I just want to make that fucking clear. I don't know if that's going to be made clear later, but they're guys. There's nothing wrong with that. You're cousins, though. That was not on his list of reasons why. How could you possibly ask if I'm in love with Kashima? Just glancing over that, I see. Alrighty, well, not me, girl. I'm definitely zeroing in on that, on the lack of that being a present reason of why we're shocked here. Okay, what's really going on is what I'd like to know. Detective Connie's on the case. Moving on. So yeah, he's like, no, there's no blah, blah, blah. And he's like, whew, good. Well, he already saw that they held hands, okay? They held hands at one point in public. He sees, and he kind of brings it up. And he's like, oh, no. Like, he kind of explains it away, but not really. But the thing that got me is like his reaction. His reaction to both of the interactions, right? So his reaction and attitude when he's confronted first is interesting, right? But it's when he confronts Kashima that I was like, oh, this is a sinister spirit. Okay, he's got a sinister aura to him, and I can see it and I can feel it through the page. So he's like, are you in love with Tono? And guess what? Kashima, he loves his bitch. And he says, actually, I am. Funny you should ask. I do love him. And I'm interested. And he's like, oh, girl, let me see if I can find it really quick and not show you half of the fucking extremely... Let's see, okay. God, when I got the stalker, dude, that whole storyline was ridiculous. Okay. Let's see. Okay, moving. We're almost there. Yeah, the Yuri dude who not speaking in complete sentences, not really sure why he has to be speaking in like a baby-ish way of like, kissy, kissy. What the fuck? Confusing. I have no idea what's going on with that character. Okay, so here's the interaction between Kashima and Yachan. You know, he's like, I think I do love Tono. Okay, yep. I should head back. It ends on this. What does this mean? What does this mean? Okay, that's frightening. That's literally giving me chills when I'm using my imagination to figure out what that could possibly mean, okay? Because then later, another one of the people in the bitch club, this guy, he also has a crush on Yarichin, but he is so... I'm not even sure how to put it, but he's an idiot, okay? And he insults Yarichin instead of like being complimentary. He wants to, he just doesn't know how to. So he's been doing this the whole time though. So it's like, I can't get mad at him for maybe snapping out of everything that's been going on. Okay. Like you're basically being harassed by this dude. He's calling him ugly every time. He grabbed him by the hair once. What's the reasoning behind that? What makes you think that that's a good idea? I have no idea. So finally, he's like, oh, no. He's making some type of comment that makes no sense. And he's like, you smell like a cum dumpster or just a dumpster or something. And he was very cold in that moment. But of course, his personality for everybody else is like sweet, quiet, gentle. Not with the other dude. So that will be very, very interesting to see play out. I'm definitely excited because it's like, now I'm wondering, does he actually like Tono? I don't think so. But the way that they had their interaction, because like Tono's like, okay, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, I see the way you look at him, you blush every time he's talking to you, when he's trying to explain him, like, this is why I assumed that you liked Kashima. Once again, he too did not bring up the fact that, and he's your cousin, glossed over to the highest degree, okay? So glossy, when the sun hits it, you're blinded, like you just stared into the sun, okay? Literal retinas burned out of your fucking face. Why are we acting like this is not something? I have no idea. So he's like, you blush, and he's like, oh no, that just happened. Only with Kashima? Okay, well. People do like to lie. People do like to lie, especially to themselves, don't we all? And it's like, okay, clearly you feel some type of way about him. Clearly. But, and I think that one's more realistic. I think that he has a crush on him. But then for a moment, I was like, wait, does he maybe have a crush on him? And that's why? I don't know. So, yes, I will be picking up volume 2. Obviously, oh, God, I have all that stuff I said I was going to read. This is the life of a mood reader. What can I say? So, I'm going to pick up volume 2. I really want to see what happens because he seems very sneaky and mean. And I didn't like him from the beginning, okay? Because typically when you see characters like this, they've got a secret, sinister soul. And I'm sensing sinisterness to the highest order. Okay? Call the Pope is what I'm seeing. Exercised this level of sinistery. Get him on the phone. We got to get this exorcism going. So yeah, I'm going to move on to volume 2. I'm excited. I don't know if I'm going to finish it tonight, but I will be getting into it, and I'm actually excited. So we're now onto a completely another series. Great. It's the next day. Yes! That's exactly what I wanted to see. I did fall asleep last night. I just started volume 2. Yes! Yes! I love the fact that he's fake. That makes me genuinely happy because you know what? For a second, I got nervous. And honestly, now that we just saw him exposed as being fake, it's like, okay, in the first volume, he's the one who tells Tono, you have to join a club. When Tono joins the photography club, he is like, oh shit, this is really the bitch club. First of all, I would rescind my offer, but who am I? I don't know how these things work. Apparently you can't. Once you step foot in the fucking room, you're a part of it. Okay. But then Yagachi is like, oh, I'm so sorry, Tono. I'm so sorry. I should have told you, Tono. Oh, no, it's okay. But if he's really fake, what if he did that on purpose so he could, because he found him attractive? Ooh, now that's a level of diabolical. Didn't I say he has a sinister soul? Didn't I say that? Okay, when I say that I like the fact that he's fake, I don't mean that I like fake people. I like that there's a little bit more to him than just being like, oh, I'm just nice to everybody. I'm so nice. Okay, you're not a good person if you are fake, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, I like the fact that he isn't actually, the super duper duper nice kind person, right? Interesting. So here we go. I'm wondering if that really is the truth and he really did tell Tono that on purpose. We will see. But I don't know. I'm not saying that I like the fact that he's fake, but I wouldn't be surprised if the reason, like, if he didn't start out really nice and he developed like that kind of like, oh, I'm nice to him, but I really fucking hate everybody because of the way people treat him. He is confessed to by everybody. And when he's like, why do you like me? They're like, well, because you're cute. And it's like, well, you know what? I would be kind of annoyed as well if that were my circumstances. Like, okay, so you people like me because I'm good looking, but also if I did something nice to you, you don't know me. You don't know me as a person. So like the guy, oh, what's his name again? I can't remember. The dude with the blue hair. Tamura? Yeah, I think it's him. Yeah, okay, yeah. So Tamura, he sits there, like, he had a nice interaction where he was nice to him. And now Tamura pops up randomly, calling him ugly because he doesn't know how to, like, talk to people that he actually finds attractive and likes. But it's like, that would piss me off. That would piss me off too, of like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why are you speaking to me this way? But you're only like, yeah, part of it is I did something nice to you or nice for you, but you're obsessing over me because I'm pretty. I don't know how I feel like that would be something I would want to dive into if like I met someone like that, like, really get into it with me. Well, let's talk. But yeah, I'm really, really excited to see the drama that will ensue, because it's like, does he like Tono? He just got, so we just saw him get confessed to, and he says to the guy, like, I like girls. I don't know if he's being honest about that. I don't know where we're going with it. Because what I said last night was, who does he really like? Does he like Kashima or does he like Tono? Does he not like either of them? And now he's pissed off that it could possibly be gay. Does he hate gay people? I don't know. Like, I want to see where this is going. I'm very intrigued. I will be reporting back in a second. All right, we're coming in quickly with an update. I really like the fact that we got more of a background on him, and then we got a flashback, and then we saw the same scene play out, but from his perspective when they're in the room and he asks, oh, are you in love with Kashima? Okay, so the truth is that, yes, he is his cousin. That's not, sorry. I didn't mean to put it that way. They're cousins. And luckily, he doesn't actually like him. So that's actually what's the truth. The truth is he's not romantically interested in Kashima. That is his cousin. Thank God. The blushing is just something that he does. It mostly out of embarrassment. And what really has happened is he was always, when they were growing up, he was an only child. He was kind of a brat. He was unruly. And Kashima is much kinder. He's like what he has he either has 7 other siblings or it's a family of 7, including himself. And he's very nice. He's very open. People really like him. So basically, he always picked up on the fact that Kashima's really nice. People like him. They want to be around him. When they were younger, he had a crush on a girl, but that girl had a crush on Kashima. And that was it seems like the first moment where he was like, I hate you. I hate you because you took something from me. Everybody likes you anyway. And the one person that I really likes you, and now they don't want to be around me like that. And that started the resentment he had toward Kashima. So he becomes like Kashima, kind of separates himself from him. But unfortunately, Kashima now has transferred into the same school as he is in. And that isn't actually a bad thing, right? It's an all-boys school. If you're straight, it doesn't matter, but he doesn't like competing. It's like he doesn't like competing with blah. Now, apparently there's an incident that Kashima saw. I'm wondering if he did end up kissing a boy. We're going to see, girl. We got a lot of info in this little amount of time, but we see a flashback that maybe Kashima saw something, and that is the reason why he gets embarrassed, but we'll see. We will see. I don't know yet, but unfortunately, he has decided, I'm going to fuck with Tono and Kashima. Not because he likes Tono. He doesn't like him. He's not interested in him, but he wants to beat Kashima in something. Nothing is more dangerous. There are, but nothing's more dangerous in this situation than a person who is beefing with someone one-sided. That person has no idea that you have an issue with them, but here you go. That's what's going on here. And that kind of like shit is dangerous in situations because it's like, girl, no one knows what the fuck is going on in your head. We can't read your damn mind. What are you doing? What are you thinking? So I'm very scared because the thing is that obviously Tono has a crush on him for the same reason that everybody else has a crush on him, which is like, that's going to make it worse. I hope things don't get violent, but he actually is like a really nice person. And I feel like he would not cross the line unless he felt like he's giving up vibes, right? Because like, he's like, okay, yeah, I have a crush on him, but like, I'm going to keep things strictly like platonic. We're friends, blah, blah, blah. He is slowly developing feelings for Kashima, but he's going to be annoying and look at it only in terms of, oh, you're just helping me out in this situation. No, he likes you, idiot. What the fuck? So he will definitely do a decent job. I know that he will make it pretty far. He's going to find a way to put a wedge, and that wedge is going to launch into the bitch. But I don't know. Communication really does solve a lot of stuff. Because if Kashima and Tono talk before he can get the wedge in, the wedge is going to be too small to even make a difference. Okay, it's going to be a splinter. But if they don't, he will work his magic. And we will see what happens. And I'm scared. I'm very scared. All right, so we've got a camping trip on the grounds of the school. Obviously, these guys are going to be in a group. Kashima is not in the group. I actually would have loved to see that. But now I'm even more like, okay, so there's only like a few people that I'm really interested. God, I don't have a bookmark. Oh well, that's fine. I'll figure it out. So I actually really want to know what's going on with Itome and Akemi. They're dating each other, but there's some weird thing going on. And Tono kind of picked up on it in the first volume, where it seems like Itome likes Akemi more. Maybe on the surface, but I think Akemi does like him. Like, it's so confusing. Obviously, I don't know what the fuck is going on with this club. We're not even taking any photos. It's like a cover for the bitch club, so we're having sex with everybody. What the fuck? What the fuck? Do things like this exist? Does this exist in all boys or girls school where it's like a group of just decided, like, you know what? Let's get a little freaky. and let's make this a club. What the fuck? That's crazy. I feel like it can't just be someone's imagination. I feel like someone really, like, this really did happen in a school. It's got to. It's got to. Am I wrong? Anyway. Why must we do this? But anyway, you know, obviously there's like rules and shit, but it doesn't seem like Itome wants to do anything with anyone else. And they're both tops, but Itome is not a top when he's with Akemi. What's going on? I don't know. And then something just happened where Itome is hanging out with somebody who clearly has a crush on him. But like, he's making this other guy's making these comments like, oh, well, don't you think it's like, are you really dating Akemi? Like, don't you think it's weird that X, Y, and Z, you know, maybe you should just break up with him? And he told me, like, almost crushes this kid's head. He's like, it's not weird. Shut the fuck up. But then it's a weird interaction that happens when Itome finds Akemi, and he brings up like, oh, did so-and-so find you? He wanted to take a picture with you, blah, blah, blah. Did you hang out? It's very interesting, the dynamic that's going on between those two. So I'm really interested to see where that's going. I have no idea what's going on with Shikatani. Okay? Shikatani, he doesn't like any bodily fluids instead, unless it's semen. What? He's wearing lingerie. I'm fine with that, girl. Pop it on. It's fine. But what's happening here? I don't know. Yuri, he's entertaining Jimmy, who has a crush on him. I don't know what's going on with that. I wonder if this is going to be one of those things where it's like Tono and Kashima. Have I been saying Kashina or Kashima? Girl, I'm going to have to look back at that. I think I'm saying it wrong a few times. I don't know why. Where they like turn the bitch club upside down, and now it's going to disband at the end because all of them learn to love each other or someone else. I would be interested to see if that happens. Who knows? But anyway, we're getting back into it. Yaguchi is trying he's really going to go for it. We're going to see what happens. I'm interested to see if something is done by the end of this volume, leading into volume 3, where basically, maybe Kashima sees them kiss or have a somewhat intimate moment. I'm excited to see where this could go. So reporting back in a second again. Oh gosh. Okay, so that was crazy. Okay, so if I didn't mention I'm doing spoilers, I'll make sure that I put a spoiler sound and picture at the beginning of this, started me talking about this. Okay, so they're doing the final like task that they have to complete for this camping trip. So the camping trip is like 15 minutes walk away from the actual Mori Academy, and they have to pitch a tent, they have to go on a hike, they have to do a test of courage, which is just them walking around the woods basically to come back, and you get stamps for this. Whatever. But it's made very clear that if somebody loses the way, not everybody goes to find them. Whoever is not lost has to come back for a teacher, and then the teacher will find them. Okay, so obviously what's going to happen, Tono, Yaguchi, they get lost. They fall down like a hill because it starts to rain, and they end up walking to an abandoned dormitory that, like, I guess third year stayed in. I can't remember, but yeah. So he's scared of thunder. He doesn't like thunderstorms. When he was a kid, his mom was like, okay, you just have to be louder than the thunderstorm. So he has been freaked out this whole time. He is scared of ghosts. He doesn't like scary things. He's been trying to keep it all together because he's trying to seduce Tono. Well, when they end up in this perfect scenario where maybe he can turn on the cute to win Tono over, Tono starts screaming at the top of his fucking lungs, just like, spinach! And it's freaking him out. So then he basically finally drops the act. So he has now shown his true colors to Tono. And the way it ends, before we get to all the bonus chapters, is he's like, oh, my angel, you know, and the image has cracked. I'm hoping that Tono is not so naive that he continues to like him or falls for the possibility that, like, oh, you know, I was joking. Because obviously, like, he is an asshole. So that's actually the thing. So what I thought of earlier, no, I don't think that it's a matter of him kind of like using it as a defense mechanism. No, he actually is like an asshole. He has always been a little bratty asshole, and he just could not accept the fact that somebody like his cousin could get by with like being so nice and everybody likes him and he gets the girls that he likes, and that's pissed him off. So his nice act is not like, oh, you know, I want to, it's not sincere. It's not genuine. He actually is a scumbag. So that's also interesting. Like, I don't like him as a character, you know. I really like Kashima more, but, and I like Tono. I like both Tono and Kashima. I like almost everybody in the bitch club. Still trying to figure out what's going on with Yuri. We saw a little bit of him and, what's his name? The other dude, with the blue haired dude. Do I have a picture of him somewhere? Okay, no. I want them to be close. You know, Tamura, I think. They knew each other when they were kids at first. That's really cute. I really like that. I like that, even though kids end up like sometimes going into different schools, there's always like a possibility that you will run back into someone, like versus how it was for us growing up in the school system I was in, which I think is typical of most American schools, is like, if that's the county you're in, girl, you're seeing people from kindergarten to graduation unless somebody moves, okay? You might not end up in the same class as them, but at the end of the day, you're going to see them in school. No one just transfers out, you know, to a school that's like, oh, because in the county that I lived in and grew up in, obviously I wasn't born in Virginia. I was born in a different state. And then we moved from that state I was born in to Alaska. And then we came to Virginia because we're in the military. Obviously, I don't know who these fucking people are where I was born in Alaska. But like in Virginia, if you're talking about the place I grew up in, like I still see those people around town, right? So like very rarely, the only people that you don't see frequently, and for me, I was in a military base, so you're probably not going to remember anybody who was here in the military. It was a military brat too, unless you stayed. And I don't know many people who were in the military or who are a military brat that stayed the way that me and my sister did. But that's a whole nother story. There's a reason why that ended up happening. Shout out to my mom. I love you, mother. Thanks for keeping us in the same school system. I appreciate it. Anyway, I think that it's cute that they knew each other when they were like elementary school kids, had a weird relationship, friendship, whatever. And then now we're in high school and it's it's very cute. I like that dynamic a little bit. Like, I do think that's cute. But anyway, his mask has dropped. I'm really interested to see how Tono is going to deal with that in volume 3, but I can't continue reading because I have to start doing my my work from home now, because every Wednesday we work from home in like the morning time and then we leave. My car is still snowed, iced in. I don't know, girl. I don't know. I'm going to try to see if I can, when I leave the house, because I have to go get my medications because they're finally available. And then I have to go to work, which is fine. But like, I have to try to find some salt because I think that's the only way we're going. I don't know. We have to be careful because at the end of the day, like, it's possibly going to snow again. So snow on top of ice, that's on top of snow. Girl, that's not cute. So I don't know. We're going to have to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. We're going to be good. But I will talk to you guys later today, hopefully having already read volume 3. But yeah. Okay. New day. I am totally finished with Yarichin Bitch Club. Wowzers. Okay. I don't remember where I left off with talking about it. Okay, yeah, okay. So, getting into spoilers. I can't remember if I had already moved on to 4 or if I had almost not finished 3, but I'm going to take the thing out. Anyway, so, wow. This got, like, so intense. I am so wanting to continue this. I want to see what's going to happen with these two. Their story is so crazy to me when we find out, and here's spoilers, okay? So, actually, no. We're gonna keep going. So these two are dating. Itome really, genuinely likes Akemi. Okay, he has feelings for him. You could tell something was, I don't know, that he had a bit of a wall up, and we finally find out what it is. Itome's older brother used to be in this club because they went to the same school. And I'm assuming that he was a first year and the brother was like in his, final years, his senior year or whatever. And they used to date. And Akemi broke up with him when he was graduating, it seems. And we don't exactly know why he broke up with him, why they didn't continue to see each other. I don't know if it's maybe because the brother's name is Minami. I don't know if maybe Minami didn't want him to sleep with anybody anymore. We don't know the details. I hope that we get it because I'm really, really interested to see that. But he has still carried a flame for the older brother. And it seems like that's what's stopping him from being serious in any way with Itome. So it's the cultural festival in the final 2 volumes, and families come, which you knew that was leading up to it once we found out that it's Itome's brother. Minami comes. It's so awkward. He sees pictures of him. I think in volume 4 or 5 or something, the bitch club goes on on a school trip. On a club trip during summer vacation. And they go to a hot spring, and that's where we see a former member. So basically, I guess he graduated the same year that Minami and then their other teacher, I cannot remember his name, graduated too. So the two older guys get to reunite. Apparently, they still are into each other, which is very, very cute. Oh wait, was that the right thing I was gonna say? They go to the thing. What happened with them at the thing? Oh, that's right. Okay. We all find out, Akemi finds out that Minami, he's married to a woman now, and they're having a baby. And he's disgusted, obviously. He doesn't find women attractive. He's not into women, but, the person that he still has feelings for. I don't know if we would say he's in love with him or not. I think so. I think there's love there. You can tell that crushes him. And we only see these two in passing, but it's at the cultural festival where he runs into Minami and he's like, why didn't you just wait for me? Why couldn't you have just waited and we could be together? So I'm assuming because I don't know, that he was like, look, when I graduate, we can be in a relationship. And Minami says, you never chased me, so I wasn't going to wait for you. Damn. So what I'm assuming is going to happen is 2 brothers are going to be very hurt by him. Itome really, really, really likes him. It makes me so sad. I want to know more about Itome. And I know we will find more because the series did a good job of having us see the background in a lot of different characters. When we see Shikatani's background, that really made me sad. We see the background on Shikatani. Shikatani was obviously from a different school. He had been developing a crush on one of his male best friends. And one day he goes to kiss his friend. And they end up on the floor or something like that. And he doesn't stop when his friend says no. And a bunch of kids come in and see what's going on. the friend is like, help me. And then it becomes this big thing. Parents are involved. And, they're like, oh my God, you were trying to assault the friend. And the friend is like, no, we were horsing around. That was it, right, Shikatani? He's trying to give Shikatani an out, even though, like, he's genuinely scared. This is his friend. His friend, he did assault him. And there was a moment there where it seems as though Shikatani was also thinking, I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. And he is horrified by that, but he did something that's wrong. So he chooses to agree with his friend, like, yeah, we were just horsing around. But up until that moment, he had an option to either go to Mori Academy or go to the same school as his old friend. And he chooses to go to Mori, and he's like, I don't want to ever come back here again. He's so embarrassed. He's so ashamed. And it was so sad because when he gets to school, he's immediately groomed by a teacher. And that is the thing that is just like crazy to me, that a teacher was having sex with him. From what I understand, though, I think that teacher was the only one. Possibly. Because in the first volume, it seemed like teachers were just willy-nilly having sex with kids. But I'm wondering if when they said, like, even teachers, they just meant this particular, like, chemistry teacher who was grooming and assaulting Shikatani. Well, Shikatani has been we see a flashback and we start to see the context, because something happens where Tono is looking for Shikatani. He finds him and his nose is broken. He's been hit in the face. We find out that it was a teacher who hit him. So not only was he being groomed, he's assaulted, he's now being physically abused by this teacher. And we find out that the teacher gets these letters that are addressed to Shikatani, and he uses them as a form of blackmail against Shikatani to get the things that he wants. Because apparently he filmed them having sex. And the blackmail is, if you don't continue to do what I want, I'm going to send the video to this guy that clearly you have something going on with. The teacher did not know what the context was, but Shikatani did not want him to send those. And it's not because it's ridiculous, because the interaction between Shikatani and Akemi, when he's like, are you freaked out about the fact that you had a sex tape? I mean, I'm surprised. Shikatani's like, no, I'm absolutely sure I look fabulous in it. It's like, Jesus, what the fuck? But it's very serious. It's very serious. The guys are determined now to get justice for Shikatani. They don't know every little thing that's going on, but they know, like, what is going on is wrong with the teacher. So they hatch a plan. The plan obviously fails because it's these fucking guys, but it comes back around and gets together. And that teacher is then fired. That's awesome. But that final moment is Akemi is talking to Shikatani, and he's like, what was really your fear? Like, were you scared that if your friend saw this video of you, that it would change the perception or whatever, the image that he had of you this whole time that you're trying to maintain? And Shikatani says something like, no, I think I was trying to preserve the image that I have in my own mind of how he would probably view me. And he goes to write him a letter, because he's never responded to the letters that his friend has written. He goes to respond to it. It clearly says, I'm sorry for what I did. I think it also probably says, I love you. We don't see the whole thing, but he tears it up. And basically it's Shikatani having a moment of like, you know what? I don't need to do this. I need to let go of what happened back then, and I need to move on. And clearly my life can't probably involve this person, and that's okay. And, for a story that's just absolutely fucking ridiculous, okay, Yuri is going around hypnotizing people with vibrators. What the fuck, For the ridiculousness of this story, there are things going on that are, like, really, really, like, deep. And I can understand why some people would drop it, okay? Absolutely 1000%. But I also, like, I'm really into the story, okay? If nobody ever had sex, I would actually love that, because it's unbelievably ridiculous. But, oh my God, and then this other moment, girl, okay. So, okay, things are okay. Things are slowly progressing. Okay, slowly progressing. I think I said the last time we talked. Okay, Yaguchi exposes his true self to Tono. Tono is basically like, dude, it's okay. You don't have to be perfect all the time. I'm gonna like you regardless. So that blossoms actual like friendship that's like, now Yaguchi is being honest about who he is, and he's an asshole. He's really mean, but now that he's had this moment of someone like really expressing like, hey, I will still be friends with you. You don't have to pretend to be someone that you're not around me. Now it opens up his feelings for Tono. So now we have a real love triangle going on, okay? Kashima is very open and honest with Tono about his feelings. Tono, it makes me frustrated that he's like hearing what Kashima has to say, and it's like, I think that you like him too, but like, why are you... I don't know. I don't know if it's just that Tono is kind of still in the place of like, I'm not going to be with a man, even though you clearly like Yaguchi. Okay, so what the fuck? Why aren't you? I don't know. But now it's kind of like, it's like an all-out competition. Yaguchi and Kashima have a fucking fight. They hit each other. The truth finally comes out. Kashima says like, look, dude, I don't fucking care. You know, you're my friend, you're my cousin, whatever. And, you know, they're more alike than Yaguchi was willing to consider. And he's so jealous of Kashima, but there are things that Kashima is jealous of Yaguchi about too. So a layered relationship. Boom, boom, boom. We're chugging along. Now it's a cultural festival. The class with Tono and Yaguchi are doing a play. You know it's going to be Romeo and Juliet. You know that Yaguchi is going to be Juliet and Tono is going to be Romeo. They have their moment. Oh my God. The play goes well. Obviously they have to kiss. I don't think that they kissed in the play. It was hard to tell if they actually kissed each other. Okay, hold on. I think they get super close, right? I don't think he truly kisses him. If he does, I think it's just like, oh, no, we're just acting. But when it's all over and it's time to clean up, Yaguchi pulls him in and kisses him. And that's where it ends. When does Volume 7 come out, bitch? But then after that, that's when we see, oh my God. Minami. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with Yuri and Jimmy. This whole storyline is weird. Yuri is a weird character. Jesus. So interesting. I don't know. Oh, I'm not go too far. That's right. They start doing stuff. All of that to say, wow. Shocked me to my core. Ended up really liking this. It's not over. I have to figure out when Volume 7 comes out, how long the series will be, because I have to see some things conclude, okay? I have to see is... Okay. I think Tono has liked Yaguchi the whole time that he's been here, right? He was one of the first people who was his friend. He actually started to develop feelings for him. He still continued to be friends with him. And I think the thing though is that I think Tono, we haven't seen it totally. Like he still acknowledges like, oh, Yaguchi's so cute. But I wonder if he finally put him in a friend place. And that's where Yaguchi is. Because Yaguchi is looking at things like, oh, we're going on a date. We're doing this. But not Tono. Tono, I think he hasn't accepted his feelings for Kashima yet, but that's where his feelings are going to be. So I'm wondering what's going to happen when after the kiss. I assume that Yaguchi is going to run away after he does it. Oh, and then the other thing is like Yaguchi, he gets exposed for his real personality. And I absolutely love that moment because he embraces it and then he realizes that his real friends don't care. So all of the guys who confess their love for Yaguchi because he was so nice, like this one dude who asks him out and they're like, oh man, and he's like, no. He should have to come up out of the woodwork and be like, you lied to me. First of all, fuck you, okay? I don't owe you shit, bitch. So back the fuck up is what I would say. But then he's like, yeah, well, fuck you, bitch. Oh, fuck you. And that's what you deserve, because you didn't really like me, okay? And that's the real issue here. And what we often see in these, okay, when it's like a very pretty boy in a class of guys, it's like y'all don't care about what's inside, just like a man. Am I wrong or am I right? And I think I'm right. Okay, not every man obviously, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, you see it time and time again, especially in the all boys schools. Okay, y'all just fantasize and love about the real pretty boy, but y'all don't really want to get to know him as a person. You only see him for what's on the outside. And yeah, he might be cute, but who are you? Who are you to not get to know me and love me for real? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Take the power back. Don't let them disrespect you, okay? And I'm glad he really did tell him off, because F you! F you back up! Cussing me out. Cussing me out in the hallway? Who do you think you are? I can't stand that. Anyway, so yes, this ended up being very good. I have a feeling nothing's gonna go. I don't think Shikatani has like a love for the series. I don't think he's gonna end this with a boyfriend. I think Yuri's gonna end up with Jimmy, because like clearly Yuri is infatuated and intrigued by Jimmy. He actually speaks to him in coherent sentences, unlike anybody else. And he's chasing Jimmy a lot of the time, which is interesting. I really want Tono and Kashima to be together. What I do not want to see is, I don't want Yaguchi to be with Tamura. Just because Tamura likes him, I don't like Tamura very much. But they're very similar in the way that they have bad attitudes and are shitty. Justice for Itome, who you know what? Here's my thing. I want you to find love. And I don't know that I necessarily want it to be with him, because he doesn't appreciate you, okay? He doesn't appreciate you. He's still hung up on your brother, and you know what? You deserve better. And unfortunately, I figure what's going to end up happening is he's going to finally get it together, and he's going to be what Itome needs. But I don't want that. I actually want Itome to move on. Move on and away from him. Find someone else. If I were writing this, if I could get in here and write what I wanted, he would move on, and you would be alone. Oh, shock. Yeah, I would be evil that way. And actually, that wouldn't be evil. I think that would be fair, because you're playing with his heart, and you know that he has feelings for you. You know that, and you're abusing it. Yeah, I don't like that very much. I don't. But anyway, yeah, this was really, really fun so far. I can't wait to continue on with this series. Yeah, I could do without all of the ridiculous sex. It can go, honestly. It could be off the page. Because here's the interesting thing is, like, they all are doing each other a lot of the time, more than we're seeing them do other people, which is interesting. But a lot of the time, like, the stuff kind of happens in the extras. It doesn't happen in the main story. Sometimes you see it, but a lot of the time it's really pushed to the back. So that's actually kind of nice that I could still get a decent story out of this. I don't care that they're sleeping with each other. That really doesn't matter to me. It's just like the weird, the further weird shit. You know what I'm saying? I think it's mostly Yuri. Yuri is so strange. I don't like that he doesn't speak in a way that makes any sense. At some points, he's speaking a different language. Like, he speaks Russian or something. Okay. I mean, he's top of the class. Like, he's very smart. I just wish he wasn't like I don't know. But anyway, I like this. I like this a lot. I will be continuing on. When the 7th volume comes out, whenever that is, I'm going to read it, because I want to see what happens between Tono and Yaguchi and Kashima. I want Tono to be with Kashima. I really do. And I don't want him. I think what's going to happen, my prediction is that kiss is going to happen. Either Yaguchi's going to run away, and then Tono's going to have to think about it. Kashima will find out, and it'll be a thing. Or in that moment, Tono will be like, oh, what's going on here? And make it very clear, like, no, you're my friend. I think that would be really interesting. I really, really, really do. But anyway, I have to go to work. I did manage to get myself... Did I already mention that? I think I did. But I managed to get myself out of the ice yesterday. Luckily, it has been sunny pretty much this whole entire week. knock on wood, you know, I want it to keep out, but they're claiming that we will get snow on what day? Possibly the weekend. Just snow, they say. But the issue is we still have all of this fucking ice on the ground. So we will see. We will see. I don't know where there's any ice melts, which would be what I would like to put down in certain parts of the yard for us to park in. I don't know. I might try to see if there's any available, but I think I'm fucked. They haven't, ice came quick. Richmond, a lot of it is still covered in ice on the roads, and they can't do anything about it because it's going to fuck it can either fuck the road up or it's going to fuck the plow. You don't want to fuck the plow up. So they didn't do a great job this year, but I think so much stuff was being said. I mean, our government did kind of gut our weather situation early on in the administration, unfortunately. So, you know, if you were basing it off of the models that were in Europe, I think a lot of people were making, like, that made more sense than what was going on in America because they were all over the place. But the European model, I think they were saying, was the better one. I don't know. I'm going to have to look up what the Europeans are saying this weekend, because obviously you got to trust the Europeans at this point. What the hell? We didn't know what was going on, dude. We thought we were going to get fucking... Well, wait, did the European model say it was going to be more too? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's winter, okay? And it's been a long time since it's looked like this in Virginia, and it's cold as hell, all right? I'm fucking freezing. And for someone who likes the wintertime, I don't like this. I'll tell you that. But anyway, yes, I have to get to work. I have to start traveling, getting out of the house. Yeah, I'm excited. I'll bring like a nice little situation of stuff to read with me, and we're going to have fun today. So I will see you guys a little later. Hey, everybody. Okay, so it is Sunday. No, it's Saturday. The 31st. It's the last day of January. And it's the last day of this vlog because I don't know what's been going on. This week has been terrible. Okay, it really, really has. It's not been good. It's not been good for me. I don't know if you can see. There's a sheet. I think I mentioned that. It's cold as fuck outside. It started snowing again. It's not terrible here where we are, but dude, I was stressed. This snow and the way that they really fucked up with like clearing the roads this time, I had the worst mood. You know, when you're making yourself mad, it's like, you need to stop. You know, you need to calm down, slow down. But no, you work yourself up. That was me. I had a breakdown. I had to cry. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, even though I'm looking, it's so funny. I was thinking, God, I haven't read anything in January. This big ass stack, 2 giant stacks behind me. Yeah, it took me a long time to finish this, but I finally finished it in Gondola. So that is the book we're going to talk about now, because I'm pretty sure I went and explained everything. I talked about Yarichin Bitch Club up to volume 6. If I didn't give like a overall, like, ooh, what do I think? I'll say very quickly. I am super intrigued. I want to continue on with the series. I still haven't looked up when when volume 7 comes out, but I'm going to continue reading that. It's something about it. It's these characters. It's not the sex. We don't need to see all that, to be quite honest with you. It's these students' backstory and like what they hope for the future, I guess. I don't know. There's love, there's loss, there's grief, there's yearning. I like all those things, and it is also funny. Some things I could do without, but you know, what can you do? What can you do? Sorry, I'm sleepy. As I said, I'm mentally, physically, and emotionally drained. I was so nice though 2 days ago. Changing the subject. The physical part of why I'm exhausted. I helped my neighbor, this lovely woman. I love her. I actually don't know how old she is, but we'll just say like she's like 70. Like, she's an older woman. I got home from work. I saw this little old lady who lives alone with a fucking shovel, just one shovel, just trying to crack the ice. And I was like, oh, hell no, I can't walk in my house, look like a fucking asshole. And I feel like a fucking asshole because I really like that lady. Really like my neighbor. So, you know, I ran up to the porch, dropped my stuff off, said hello to Kat, and got my shovels in. I dug her car out. I dug her a bit of her driveway out so she could get into the driveway because she parked on the road. We didn't think it was going to be that bad, so it was crazy. She shoveled her whole walkway by herself. So I was like, dude, I got to keep going, and we've made it work. But I'm tired. Anyway, let's talk about Dead in Gondola by Anne Claire, a Christie Bookshop mystery. I started this in December. This took me a really long time to read. I can't give you a reason why. I liked it, but I didn't, I think I liked it, but I didn't love it enough to have it like keep me engaged. So I will just go ahead and say this is going to be something that I'm going to unhaul because I'm going to be doing like a big unhaul situation soon. I need to because there's a ton of like regular books, not just manga, that the more I sit and I look at it and I think about it, I'm like, you know what, realistically I'm probably never going to read this, and if I want to, I'll get it from the library. And unfortunately she's going to be going, but I did like her. Basically it's a cute cozy mystery in like a Swiss Alps situation, except in America. And I've never been to the mountains. I've never been skiing before, so I don't even know. What are the Lake Tahoe? Where's a place in America where people ski and it's very cold? Let me know. I do not know that. Anyway, is her name Ellie? Okay, so our main character is Ellie. She is Ellie Christie. She and her family own a bookstore in this idyllic, snowy town. Very, very cute. They have a chalet. Yeah. So they own a bookstore, and they're the Christie sisters, Agatha Christie. They love mysteries. They're just they're very, very cute, quirky family. And the thing I had mentioned many times about this is that I really like the fact that Ellie and her sister get along. I love my sister and get along with her, so it's nice to read a story with that, you know, instead of like them at odds. So it was really, really cute. Basically we're there for their book club meeting for an Agatha Christie book, and you have pretty much everybody in this book club who's from the town. You've got the former actress, you've got the snow cowboy, you've got the grandma who's really cool, you got the cat named Agatha Christie, you got the sister, you got the lady who runs a gossip magazine. I don't know, there's like many people involved. And while they're trying to do this wild, wacky book club, a man enters the bookstore. When this mysterious man comes that no one knows who he is, that we know of. Ellie doesn't, that's for sure. He explains that he's looking for someone. Simultaneously, they can't find one of the employees in the store. And after book club wraps up, the sisters are going on the gondola to the grandma's house. They see the mysterious man who showed up and was looking for someone. And he seems a little off. Well, he has been murdered, okay? He was stabbed or whatever the hell. And he died right in front of them. Damn near. That's crazy. And yeah, now it's just about fucking who is guilty in this town. There was a fucking avalanche or whatever. Not an avalanche. Not an avalanche. Not an avalanche. Not an avalanche. What was it? What was the thing that made it? A crash. Just an accident. That's right. So nobody can get in and no one can get out. So that means the murderer might still be here, ready to slash and hack at every single person in this town. Blood on the snow would be crazy. It'd be crazy. It would make for a crazier book. I might get to writing that. Yeah, so it's just us, from Ellie's perspective, seeing every single person in this town. Are they innocent? Are they guilty? I don't know if because I kind of lost interest. And when I say that, I don't mean I didn't like it. It's just it stopped being interesting to me. It was, I don't know. We had to go through so many fucking people, and I just lost steam. I didn't know who it was at the end, but then when they revealed it, I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I did kind of suspect him at first, but does it matter? Everybody could have killed the man, and I wouldn't care. So I would rate this book probably 3 stars. Yeah, I'm gonna go 3 because I finished it. It wasn't bad at all. I think it was very cute, very quirky, even more cozy mystery, if you will, because, you know, it's all these people, you know, think snow everywhere, okay? People are skiing from shop to shop. What the fuck? Really, there's a horse involved. I don't know. People are doing like horseback riding in the snow. I mean, it just sounds lovely, okay? But I probably won't continue on with the series. I probably won't pick up book 2. I think it would be cool. Maybe if I read the synopsis, if there's a second book and say, you know what, that sounds good enough, I'll think about it. I'll think about it, especially if it ends up on Hoopla app. But yeah, Dead and Gondola, there you are. There you have it. I don't think there's anything else I've kept up with. The reason why I have felt like I didn't read anything is because like this week, dude, I don't know what was wrong with me. And I don't actually remember reading any manhwa. I've purchased some stuff on Lezen. I just read like the most recent 2 most recent episodes, one that I missed out on, of The Rotten. Oh my God, is he already pregnant? Is he already pregnant with the rotten baby? And weirdly, I don't want the guy with the red and the blue eye to kill the blonde haired dude with the 2 red eyes who is like a fucking weird ass mutant dude. I want everybody to live. But the main character of The Rotten, if he just put a uterus in this man. He just turned it to Omegaverse, okay? If he's already pregnant, that is some fast acting zombie sperm, because I mean, that's what he is. He's like a fucking sentient zombie, doing operations with his cordyceps fingers. Crazy. I mean, I'm not even, you might think you might think that this is like made up. No. The Rotten is shocking me. And I don't know why I keep going, but I just keep reading. But that's really it. Most of the things that I want to read are on hiatus. Yes Ma'am was good, but like not much happened. So that's unfair. And I think I should get a little bit more. I had gotten really lucky on Lezen, and I got the discounted price of like the most expensive tier. And my points dropped, or my coins dropped. I was like, where'd all these fucking coins come from? I got over 5,000 coins. And I was like, I don't even know what to get. Now that I have all these coins, I don't know what to buy to read. I'm like, well, do I want to start something? And then I'm just having to fucking slog along, or should I get something that's complete? And then I looked at how much like Define the Relationship was. That shit was over 3,000 coins. I was like, well, damn, I know I have it. But you see what the problem is? I've got it. Now I don't want to spend it on something that's complete. What's the logic there? I don't know. But we're going to start something new tomorrow. I do have, or Monday. I don't work. I do have work. I might not actually. We might not start tomorrow. We might start on Monday. I work tomorrow. We'll see what happens. I have my book club tomorrow because we all finished the book. But we'll see. But this is the end. That's actually what we do now. So thanks, you guys. I have no idea what's going on in this vlog by now, because I think I've been filming like 2 weeks now with this one. This was a long one. I've just been so distracted with work and other personal things mentally. I haven't been good for the last week. I've been pretty bad, but I'm feeling better now. Actually, I think that I've moved past it, which is good. So I don't know what the hell. I know we talked about some of this stuff, but some of this stuff that's here is actually from the beginning of January. So I have no idea what's going on. We'll see. We'll see in the little editing moment. But thank you so much for watching.
If you like the video, please like the video. If you like it, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on other social media, send the description box down below. And you have a good day. Goodbye.